Welcome to Rise Diary. In today's video, we're diving deeper than most textbooks ever dare to go. What if I told you that by the end of this video, you will understand how your body, your biology, and even your health work better than the average doctor trained in traditional medicine? That's not a boast, that's a fact, because today, we're not just talking about what the body does, we're unpacking how it does it. We're going into the science of cells, energy, thought, disease, and healing. And by the end, you'll realize that you are not a victim of your genes or your diagnosis. You are, in fact, the master of your biology. Let's get started. Your body is made of batteries, literally. Right now, in your body, you have about 50 trillion cells. Let that sink in. 50 trillion cells. And here's what's even more astonishing. Every single one of those cells is an individual battery. Each living cell maintains an electrical charge, approximately negative 70 millivolts on the inside and positive on the outside. The result? Each one of these microscopic units holds around 1.4 volts of electrical potential. Multiply that by 50 trillion. And what do you get? You're walking around with about 700 trillion volts of potential electrical energy. That's not just a poetic idea, that's physics, that's biology, that's you. And here's where it gets exciting. Through conscious training, breathwork, and meditation, ancient traditions have taught how to channel this bioelectric energy. In Chinese medicine, they call it qi. In India, it's called Prana. In the West, we often call it life force. What if you could direct that energy intentionally to heal, to regenerate, even to enhance your focus, vitality, and purpose? You can, and it starts by understanding how your cells work. Your cells have their own organs, and they're smarter than you think. Let's break it down. Just like your body has organs, heart, liver, lungs, your cells have organelles. These are the miniature organs of the cell, and each one has a specific role to play. Science often paints a picture of the nucleus as the brain of the cell. But that's actually a misconception. The nucleus isn't the control center, it's the reproductive center. It houses your DNA, but it doesn't make decisions. What happens if we remove the nucleus from a cell? Surprisingly, the cell continues to function for days, sometimes weeks. So what's actually running the show? The cell membrane, that thin, dynamic layer surrounding the cell, is the real decision maker. It's the interface between the cell and the environment. It's where perception begins. That's where signals from your environment, both internal and external, enter and influence the behavior of your cells. In other words, your biology begins with how you interpret the world. Protein plus signal equals behavior. Let's get even deeper. Your body is made of proteins. These are the physical, moving parts of life. Enzymes, hormones, structures, you name it. But proteins are dormant until they receive a signal. So imagine a signal, an electrical impulse, a hormone, a thought, binding to a protein. What happens? The protein moves. It changes shape. It performs a function. And this is how behavior happens at the cellular level. So, if you're healthy, your proteins are responding correctly to the right signals. But if you're sick, either the protein is damaged, which could be due to a genetic mutation, rare, or the signal is flawed, much more common. And here's the key point. Less than 5% of diseases come from faulty proteins due to inherited genetic defects. That means 95% of illnesses are not genetic, they're epigenetic. Translation: your environment, perception, lifestyle, and beliefs control your biology more than your DNA ever will. The 3 disruptors of health. So if 95% of disease isn't from bad genes, what's actually making people sick? 3 things interfere with the signal that controls your biology. Trauma, physical injury, or structural misalignment blocks proper signal flow. Think of nerve damage, inflammation, or tension in your spine. Toxins, environmental poisons, processed foods, heavy metals, or even emotional toxicity pollute the internal environment of your body. Thought? Yes, your mind, your beliefs, your expectations, even your self-talk. Of the three, thought is the most underestimated and the most powerful. Because even when there's nothing wrong with the body, a toxic mindset can generate illness. This is not spiritual woo-woo. This is biology. It's physics. It's chemistry. The power of perception. Let's introduce a game-changing concept. Perception controls biology. When you hear the phrase, a gene turned on or a gene turned off, it sounds like genes make choices. But genes don't decide anything. Genes are blueprints, templates. They sit dormant until they're read by your biology. So, what tells the body to read a gene? Your perception. And perception is shaped by experience, environment, emotion, and belief. You can have a perfectly healthy set of genes and still develop disease if your environment and perception signal your body to behave in a way that creates illness. This is called epigenetic control, meaning control above the genes. You are not a victim of your DNA. You are the author of it. You are not predestined by your family history. You are rewriting it every single day. You are a walking community. You're not one entity. You're a community of 50 trillion intelligent cells, and every community needs leadership. Each of your cells is capable of independent action, but in your body, they work together, cooperatively, under a central command. That command center? Your mind. When the mind says, we are safe, your body heals. When the mind says, we are in danger, your body shuts down healing, digestion, immunity, everything that isn't essential for immediate survival. Your thoughts are not confined to your head. They are broadcast to every cell in your body, influencing behavior, genetics, and health. The placebo and nocebo effects, the biology of belief. We've all heard of the placebo effect. You believe a sugar pill is medicine, and suddenly you get better. That's not coincidence. That's belief-altering biology. 1/3 of all medical healing, yes, even surgeries, are attributed to the placebo effect. But here's what most people don't talk about, the nocebo effect. This is when a negative belief creates illness or worsens it. If a doctor tells you, you have 6 months to live, and you believe it, that belief can become a biological command to your cells. Your mind listens. Your cells respond, which brings us to an important truth. Your beliefs can heal you or kill you. Stress, the silent killer of the immune system. Let's talk about stress. Stress isn't just an emotional issue, it's a physiological one. Your body's stress response is designed to help you survive an immediate threat. It diverts energy away from long-term projects like healing, digestion, and immune defense, and sends it to your muscles and heart. But if you're living in chronic stress, from work, relationships, finances, or fear, your immune system is permanently suppressed. And here's the kicker. Every single one of you watching this is already carrying bacteria, viruses, even parasites. They're in your bloodstream right now. So why aren't you sick? Because your immune system is keeping them in check. But the moment your immune system shuts down, even temporarily, these invaders get their chance. That's why these are called opportunistic infections. You didn't catch the illness. You gave it an opportunity through chronic stress. So yes, antibiotics and drugs can be helpful in emergencies, but the real cause must also be addressed. Your internal environment, your stress, your beliefs, your thoughts. Healing is an inside job. The future of medicine isn't in more pills. It's in understanding that your biology is responsive, intelligent, and adaptable. To truly heal, you must align your thoughts with healing. Feed your body clean, vibrant food. Move your body to increase electrical flow. Meditate and breathe to restore the signal. Detox your environment, physically and mentally. Most importantly, believe in your power to change. You're not broken. You're not stuck. You are electric, dynamic, responsive, regenerative. Let's tie this together. Genes are not your destiny. Diagnosis is not a life sentence. The thoughts you think, the food you eat, the emotions you feel, they are shaping your health right now. So if you want to change your health, change your perception, change your story, change the way you talk to yourself. Because in the world of biology, you are both the author and the reader of your genetic story. And that story is still being written. If this expanded understanding sparked something inside you, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more deep dives into the truth of the human body and the power of the mind. You are not a passive observer. You are an active creator. This is Rise Diary, and this is your awakening.